In today's video, I'm going to show y'all how to take this plain all-purpose flour and we're going to make self-rising flour for your biscuits or any other kind of baking recipes you need. So come on and let's get started. Okay, we're going to start off with our self-rising flour, and what you're going to need for this one is baking powder, your 1 cup of flour, and some salt. And I'm using pink salt. You can use whichever salt you choose, but we just like pink salt, so that's what we're going to be using today. So let's turn around here and we're going to make our all-purpose flour turn into self-rising flour. Okay, so the next time you're doing a recipe and it calls for self-rising flour, you don't have to go out and buy a bag just to have enough for that recipe for self-rising. We're going to show you in today's video how to make all-purpose flour self-rising. Okay, what you do is you'll take 1 cup of your all-purpose flour, and then you're going to take 1 teaspoon and a half of your baking powder, and this is the baking powder that we made the other day, and I've got a video on it and I'll link it down below. I used this recycled can and I made my homemade baking powder. So that's 1 teaspoon, and then you'll do a half, 1 and a half of baking powder. And then we're going to do a 1/4 of a teaspoon of our pink salt. And now we're just going to take this and mix it all together. And we're going to use that to be mixing all our recipes up. And then we're going to take a sifter, and this is the sifter I've got. I've got one that turns too. When I make a bigger batch, I use that, and I do it more at a time. But for this recipe, I'm just going to use this small one just to show y'all. Once you get your flour mixed together, you want to combine it good. So what you'll want to do is just sift this 1 cup of flour with that baking powder and salt. So if you're doing a recipe and it calls for 1 cup of self-rising flour, you can make it yourself if you've got the all-purpose. And that'll help you save money, and you don't have to buy all those different kinds of bags of flour. Right here you're making your own self-rising flour. And just get it to go down in there. And then sift it again. So right there, we made our own self-rising flour out of all-purpose. It's that simple and easy. And it's a good way to restock your pantry and save money. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show y'all how to make homemade Cathead biscuits. So y'all come on and join us in the kitchen as we share this recipe with y'all. In today's video, I'm going to show you how good the self-rising flour works that we made. Now this flour is that flour we made the other day. It already has my baking powder in it and my salt. But we're going to probably use around a good 2 cups of our self-rising flour we made. I'll link that video down below on how to make your own self-rising flour. And now to the flour, we're going to add some shortening. This is what we're going to use this time. You could use butter, you could use heavy cream to make your biscuits, but today I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm just going to use regular old shortening. And that's probably about a good half a cup for the amount of biscuits we're going to be making. This is going to be a recipe for 4 to 5 biscuits. We may have extra. Okay, now that we've got our shortening in there, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to be using my hands and just breaking those little pieces of shortening up into about the size of peas is the way I do it. You can see that's about what the shortening looks like. Just keep working it. If you see any bigger pieces, just mix it in there with that flour. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to measure it out, but it's probably going to be around a good cup of milk, and start adding my milk. And just start working that dough. Just work that milk in your dough till you get it exactly how you want it. Now that right there, I can tell that's going to be plenty of milk already. Get this off your fingers. Okay, then after you get it to that point and you clean up your hands a little bit, you're just going to start folding that dough. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to add me some flour to my counter that we're going to be working on. And we're just going to put our dough out on that, and we're going to start working our dough a little bit and getting it good and mixed. And if you see it sticking to your counter, just add you a little bit more flour. And I've still got a little bit down in here. Just sprinkle you some more flour on your counter. And the way I do it is you pull it back and just work it like that. Press down on it and push it. Okay, and then once you get it how you want it, just start shaping it into a ball, and then we're going to use the rolling pin on your dough. Press the top of it just a little, and now we're just going to start using this rolling pin and getting it rolled out to the thickness we want. Now, depending on how big you want your biscuits, that's up to you. But tonight, I'm going to make them bigger to go with that cube steak and gravy. These are like Cathead biscuits. That's what my Aunt Willie used to call them. Used to, that's all they'd have. Some biscuits for breakfast, and maybe some jelly, some molasses, and some butter mixed together on a Cathead biscuit. Oh, you're talking about something good. Now that would be good. Okay. That's about the thickness I want mine. If you don't want your biscuits quite so thicker, you know, so thick, you could go a little thinner, but tonight we're gonna have Cathead biscuits, and I usually do about 1/4 of an inch. And the way I usually do it, if I'm making a regular biscuit, I use these little bitty drinking cups. But when I'm gonna do a Cathead biscuit, I use a bigger cup, or either you could use a probably like a bigger mason jar lid, and that would cut you out around bigger type biscuit. But we just use these, so I'm gonna just start cutting them. And that's what they look like. It's almost the size of my hand. Now that is a bigger biscuit. We're going to spray this iron skillet. And start putting them in there. Now we got to shape it again, because I've already used all my dough spots up that I can cut. Just roll it back out to the same thickness as the other ones. I might make us a treat with this, because that right there is as many as I can get in this pan. I've got 4 big Cathead biscuits in my iron skillet. So now we're going to go ahead and put them in the oven with that cube steak. Right before your biscuits get done, cut you about 2 tablespoons of butter. Real butter. And we're going to melt it in the microwave. It's not unsalted, it's salted, real butter. They're not ready yet, but look at them rising. Okay, y'all, I took my biscuits out of my iron skillet because I don't want them to get any more browner than they are. But y'all, look at that. That's a Cathead biscuit. It's the size of my hand. Okay, y'all, I hope y'all like this video on how to make homemade Cathead biscuits. If you do, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It's helping our channel grow. And thanks for watching.